Sexy leather fragrances. Be honest, that zoom, terrifying. You saw the pores? Crazy. Leather fragrances is the name of the game, and I'm gonna put you on to 10 leather fragrances that I find to be absolutely delectable. In the niche space, in the designer space, in the cheapie space, there's a budget for everyone. But what I can say is the consistency across this video is that all of these joints tickle my fancy. Sexy, delicious, must have, and they all contain leather. Let's roll my music so I can put you on to 10 absolutely sexy leather fragrances in my stash. Listen, one of my beautiful peoples, you know who it is. It's your boy, 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 We're talking about sexy, must-have leathers. Not all of them, just whatever fits your budget, whatever fits your style, your swag, or maybe you're a note whore and you go on for 𝗙𝗪𝗀𝗃 and then you see other people's commentary, or maybe you find a note that really interests you, then that's the leather that you go for. Sample before you buy. Unless you got money, buy everything on the video and hopefully I'll get PC off of every single sale. But this first fragrance is crazy. 𝗙𝗏𝗄𝐻 Leather. A recent discovery, a recent cop in the showcase because people were like, yo, you gotta try out this house. It's a cheap fragrance. This shit was like 20 bucks on Fragrance Buy. Unfortunately, it is sold out. There might be other places that you can cop this shit. Performance, crazy. Rich, deep, wild leather. Essentially, it's supposed to be a clone of Tuscan leather, but this shit is actually more beast than Tuscan leather. And speaking of Tuscan leather clones, this is giving a ton of competition to another outstanding clone of Tuscan leather, which is showcased on this list, 𝗙𝗏𝗄𝐻 by 𝗙𝗏𝗏. This gives this a very strong battle. This is very sexy. This one has more of a raspberry tartness in this fragrance. Close interpretations of Tom Ford's Tuscan leather. However, this, being an interpretation as well, is a lot bolder, a lot darker, a lot drier, but wow, the performance / price point is outstanding of this joint. So both of these are definitely listed as phenomenal budget leathers in this. These are great. The exhaustion of showing off Memo's African leather on this channel, I know there's people sighing at this point like, ugh, again, Cuba? Yeah, I'm doing a leather video. You think I wouldn't put what I would consider like top 5 leathers in my collection, maybe top 3 leathers in my collection if I'm doing a leather video? Perfection for me. I think this is ultra unique, absolutely beautiful, amazing performance. It's spicy, it's sweet. It's a romantic leather, a seductive leather, an inquisitive leather. It makes my pee-pee hard leather. TMI. Let me just get a quick whiff in the air, just a little. Uh-oh. Boner alert. Perfection. Combination of cardamom and leather energy in this fragrance. The spiciness, the liveliness, the effervescence, the floral nature in this leather, the soft, butterscotchy, supple leather that comes out of Memo's African leather is ridiculous. You've never smelled a leather like this. You've never seen oud cultivated in this type of frame. Did I just spit? That's nasty. Let's be clear, if I'm putting together a leather video and I don't mention Memo African leather, who am I? For me to like a leather fragrance this much, that it shattered on the glass, because me and a good friend of mine that has been showcased on this channel before, I think you've met him, got intoxicated and knocked the bottle down on my nice hard tiles and completely exploded, so I had to get Zaharoff's signature leather tobacco again.
Cut that out, Asnan.
I had to get it again. This is why it's barely been, I needed it in the stash because this is a very underrated leather scent profile. Very bold, very risky in a way, but extraordinarily wearable. There's a little bit of an underlying animalic tendency to this leather, but it's done expertly. Let's get a couple of wafts of this puppy real quick. Look at that, it just came, it's brand new. Sleeper. beautiful honey-kissed leather nuance with a little bit of a plum action, allegedly. There's a fruity, dried up, more prunish kind of scent profile, then I would categorize it as plum, but it is a gorgeous honeysuckle leather and nutty tobacco scent profile that they executed extraordinarily well for amazing leather fragrances, especially at the price point. I think this is around 155 bucks. Fucking amazing. Next one. And another fragrance that is somewhat in the space of a Tom Ford Tuscan Leather, but kicks the balls out of it. 𝗙𝗏𝗏 by Whittian. Now, believe it or not, Tuscan Leather, although there's inspired expressions of this fragrance in this list, is not showcased on the list. I will put it in the honorable mention space, because clearly there's DNAs of that fragrance being used by others, but to me, they've kind of executed it better. Now, in this particular situation, this one is not cheap. This is a more expensive version. It's more tart, it's way more leathery, but it's also more candy-like. There's a little bit of a underlying Paco Rabanne 1 million sweet fuckboy energy, the way that they candied the raspberry in this fragrance, but it's not childish at all. It's just synthetically type sweet in the perfect way possible, with the suede and leather elements of the fragrance complementing it beautifully. It's an orchestra of delicious balance. Sweet, candied-like, sour raspberry notes, suede/leather combinations with a subtle tobacco twist, and then you have beautiful woods just complementing the entire scent profile. Not only does this fragrance smell absolutely incredible, but the performance of this bitch is crazy. But it's also in that almost $300 space. I believe it's around $260 or $270, so you know, manage your budget accordingly. But if you want a monster that smells absolutely beautiful, 𝗙𝗏𝗏 or 𝗙𝗏𝗏 has to be on that sexy leather list. Next one. And I know I disrespectfully didn't put Tuscan Leather, but I did put a Tom Ford. Ombre Leather Parfum. Extraordinarily wearable. One of the best, I guess, entry-level leathers that you can really wear at all stages, but this is not gonna offend anyone. This can be something worn to the office and you're gonna smell absolutely fantastic. Also, soft leather suede combination with a little bit of a tobacco essence. There's a mild powdery nuance to this fragrance, which adds to the overall dimension of this overall scent and versatility, really. Also has this mild booziness kind of counteracting with that powderiness that's very mild and probably not listed in the notes, but there is something that's slightly peaty along with that suede nuance that gives the fragrance texture. I think Tom Ford Ombre Leather Parfum over Ombre Leather, for me, is a personal selection that smells outstanding off of my skin and could potentially smell good off of yours. You can run into a department store and test this shit out before you even decide on pulling the trigger. But best leathers, I think, in my opinion, this one's phenomenal. Next one. Now, this shit blew my sack the first time I smelled it. I'm gonna have to make this my scent of the day. Tamine Regent Leather. Papo. Just give 2 right now, just to... My God. Can I just have a moment of silence? Let's say a prayer about how fucking amazing I smell right now. Humbly speaking. Regent Leather is more on the brighter leather. Maybe a little bit more diesel in some sense. Maybe having a little bit more of a old school nostalgia, animalic, 𝗙𝗏𝗏 kind of situation in this fragrance, mildly giving it some body and some depth, but there's a lot of brightness and airiness surrounding this leather fragrance, which doesn't automatically put it in the space that it doesn't perform well, because on the contrary, it performs ridiculously. But it's beautiful, sexy, bright, yet dark, a little beastie, but super wearable, and also has a little touch of femininity to this fragrance with its white floral essences. This is gorgeous. This is an underlined, underrated masterpiece in the leather space for me, my taste, and especially what it does off of my skin. I smelled this shit off of a sample and bought the bottle same week. When a fragrance captivates you that quick, there's no waiting. I need to find the deal, I need to find the bargain, I need to pull the trigger, and I need to put it in the stash. And Regent Leather was one of those that as soon as I smelled it, I said, you know what? Uncle Cuba needs it, and maybe so do you. Not gonna believe what I have to put in the list, but for the price point, especially now that I Googled it, and it's something like $33, No Limit by Pline. Bro, slept on budget fragrance. This little cheapy, gaudy, Eastern European looking bottle is a grenade of performance and a punch of leather that hits you right in the cervix. Let me re-snort this joint because there's a lot of shit going in the air, so I need to get it closer to the nose. Star anise, vanillic, milky, cappuccino latte-ish with cinnamon sprinkles and leather is what I'm getting out of this fragrance. It's a little bit on the drier side, but performs incredible. Think about it. On gray market pricing, in that sub $50 space, you won't believe how solid this leather fragrance is. It still manages in the space of thameen to keep that airiness and this freshness about this leathery fragrance. Thinking about all this, something just came to my head. Something just came to my head when mixing like Middle Eastern, spices, airiness, light, chai latte. Chai latte with this little star anise and cinnamon blend, all these spices that you get from a chai latte. It's not a bold, it's a tea at the end of the day, right? Just with fucking milk. So there's a little bit of a vanillic nuance. There's a little bit of a milky nuance. There's this vanillic flow. You get all those spices. This is a motherfucking chai latte in a bottle with leather. Now, would I wear anything from Pline? No, because I don't look like one of these 6 foot, 8 foot 12 Middle Eastern models. I can't wear that shit with skulls and bedazzled all over the place. I got full tits and hips like a chick. Imagine me wearing some Pline shit, but if you want to sponsor the kid, I'll wear the fuck out of it. Nah, I probably wouldn't. I still look super Riri with that shit. But the fragrance though, you knock this shit out of the park. Wildly underrated, and a diesel leather fragrance that's chai latte. Next one. Coming down to the wire, do you guys already know what the last 2 fragrances are gonna be on this list? Probably 90% of y'all who watch the channel know at least one of them has to be Dior Homme Parfum. Has to be. There's nothing that I can say about this scent that hasn't been said already. Perfection. I think it's an absolute beautiful gem. I'm glad there's more accessibility to get in the United States now, even though you're gonna pay a premium of at least $200 for this joint, but I think it's well worth it. I think it's a beautiful scent, but it's a beautiful scent for me. What I'm saying by that is that it's a powdery fragrance. It's that lipstick bag DNA scent profile that a lot of dudes ain't used to, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot of Latinos that are super machista, and that powdery lipstick bag essence just not gonna fly. Test it out, because that powdery essence is balanced off by wild whiskey booziness. You know what I'm saying? So you got powdery, you got booziness, you got wild leathers. This is very masculine, very sexy, date night appropriate, nighttime, sun just dipping behind the moon. Is that how it works? Because the earth is flat, right? This, I think, is a masterpiece in the Dior lineup. I absolutely love this scent. I think it's an amazing powdery leather fragrance that should be in the Hall of Fame of fucking Baja Panties. You don't speak Spanish? Google it. Next one. And finally, the discontinued Tonka Bean and Leather God Armani Code Absolute. Used to be affordable, used to be readily available, was around $120 when it did exist. Now you're gonna pay a bit of a premium, but the tart orangey / mandarin essence of this leather fragrance with these vanillic tones is un bizcochito, baba. Citric, bright, crisp, beautiful Tonka, amazing leather, and spicy at the same time. I don't know why you would discontinue a beast like this fragrance. And there's other bullshit that they were dropping that they're like, whoa, it's kind of in the... No, it's not. This shit is different, and I'm not a huge Armani Code fan, period. So for this to be like a gem in the collection, especially when it comes to leather or overall sexy fragrances, Armani, you stupid. Why you... Come on, Bobby, put this back, bro. Like, bring it back 2025. Let's do like a proper formulation. Don't try to switch up the DNA. This shit is a problem. Let's keep it in an affordable price point. Or if you don't, the gray markets will take it and then make it affordable. But this shit, bring it back. It's a problem. You need this. Pay up for it. Fuck it. Who cares? Use your credit card. Go into debt. Whole world is gonna burn anyway.
It's not about money. It's about sending a message. Everything burns.
I love y'all mother suckers from the heart. What is your absolute favorite leather fragrance? Leave it in the comment below. Maybe we'll make a part 2 viewer's choice of sexiest leather fragrance in your collection that should be known by the entire world and the millions upon millions of people who watch me. It ain't even that much. I'll see y'all bitches next time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and have an amazing 2025. Smooches.
Fly gun holder, money folder, molar roller, star attack when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense you never get in. It's nonsense that you would think that you would.